Here we are.
City Hall.
City Hall. Trying not to cuss. Trying to control myself. I'm totally incensed with the amount of injustice just in Austin alone. So they got the media. That's why I had to walk here. That's why I'm like, marked media vehicles only. Does that look like a media vehicle? Does this look like a sorry. Does this look like a frilling media vehicle? 4491. How about 4431? Is that APD recruiting? Is that media? All beat up. Whatever. So I'm here to cover whatever's happening at City Hall today. Hopefully they're not cussing in there, because if their quorum would be bruised. Emergency! I gotta go through 3 alien anal probe to get in this building, but it's cool. That's a medical term. That's not cussing. Oh, there's Kathy Tovo. That's sold out. Looks like her. Sold out city council member. And that one scientist sold out dude. Just talking ordinances and liens. Tovo never holds anybody accountable, even herself. She's a joke. You probably go ahead of me. You're faster. They have the bigger bins.
Hey, how are you? Good.
Can you do this first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Pretty much the same as always. Feel free to go through there. I'm gonna get my belt off.
Alright.
Then I think, oh no, I got one chain. Too many
Alright, go
teachers.
ahead and take your I'll inspect this finally.
You're very nice, buddy. Thank you. And now. Okay.
Alright.
Go
Go ahead and go.
No, just whatever's needed. Hold on one second. Alright, you're good.
I can finish it.
You have to take your belts off now. You can hold a belt. When you get big, you'll be able to hold a belt. You get old like sin, older than sin. I got an idea.
There you go, you're welcome.
So do I have to strip or not?
Take everything off. Clothes off.
I mean, have they ever gone through this?
I'm over here, ma'am. Do you have a Oh, yeah. Somebody dropped this. Oh, I'll just leave it. Oh, somebody dropped it. Okay, thank you. All right. That's okay. Take your time.
I'll be almost done. I need to get in there and film. The t-shirt. Okay. Thank you.
What's Centric's role in the current workers' comp process is claims management. They need to pay the claims, they need to make sure that, that the providers are compliant with the care. There's certain forms and protocol that Texas workers' comp law requires with regards to claims management, so they keep us compliant with our payment of claims, with as much of the care as they can, because like I said, you know, they are a TPA, a third-party administrator, but it's really administrator of claims. So there is a bit of a gap in that actual experiential element, which I described earlier. They're very heavy into paying claims and making sure that all of those boxes are checked and things that we're compliant with our workers' comp statute. And we get our temporary wage statements, and that we get people paid consistent, and you know, there's all those types of things that go along with comp. So they're heavy into that.
So the other entity is more on the healthcare side of it. I'm picturing it more as a concierge service, as opposed to somebody who's standing in your way, somebody who's holding your hand and helping you identify the appropriate medical providers and shortening the time for you to go through that process, because they know all the rules and procedures, which, as you mentioned, someone who's entering in that process doesn't already have it or find it there.
You are exactly right. That is it.
I would ask that, it sounds like you have already engaged some with the unions, but you know, maybe before you sign it, if you can just make sure that you have another set of conversations with them so that they can get their questions answered about why this isn't just adding another middleman and making it, you know, more challenging. Those may have been had with some more than others, or the concerns may be different across. If you can make sure whichever one of those unions wants to have that conversation, that you have that before you finalize the contract, so if something does come from this conversation, you have an opportunity to pivot. That's good.
Thank you, Councilmember Ross. Alter, Councilmember Vela.
Just a few questions, and I should say my wife is a workers' comp attorney, legal aid, so I know more about this topic than I really should. So the current process with the, I guess, the temporary benefits, right, for the payments? Yeah. Those, we're replacing those benefits with wage continuation.
For the first 12 months.
Okay, for the first 12 months.
After that, it will go into that statutory benefit. If they continue on comp, hopefully we can get them resolved in 12 months. That's the hope always.
Okay, and the only, to get you think from the employee's perspective, temporary benefits are not taxable, I believe. And so
There's one of the head
wage
cops here.
continuation be taxable?
Undercover.
Well, wage
His name's Mike.
continuation is taxable.
Been here for years.
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
This guy's a good
Yeah, the kids are 70.
Usually they're better than, I think, in
So the net,
most of the cases,
Yeah,
because
the-
they're 100%, they're not interrupted.
right, so the net benefit would be better to just go with wage
That lady is
continuation.
an art. That's Karen. That lady doesn't like me filming her. You're live, lady.
With regard to,
You're live. Excuse me.
because,
Sorry,
again,
I didn't mean you to be live.
anecdotally, and-
You're live.
and
This guy's a
to put this
freaking
in
narc too.
context, Texas is
He's a bully.
the
Been here for
only-
years.
if not one of the only states
Threatened to
that
arrest
does
me
not
many times
require
for
workers'
filming.
comp universally. So the Texas workers' comp system is really inadequate. And one of the kind of results of that is the doctors that will take workers' comp. And I know that's a real struggle for injured workers, is that there's a very limited number of providers that will accept. Are we in that same situation? I'm exaggerating, I know because the city is self-insured, but are we in that same situation?
If I'm not mistaken, I am certain that the public sector does have to offer workers' compensation benefits to their public sector.
Public sector, yes.
With that said, yes, it's always a bit of a struggle because they're on a scale, a sliding scale to provide the services. So some of the medical professionals aren't necessarily, super eager. And it does come with litigation sometimes, so, it depends on how, positioned they are, and interested they are to, go through that process. But we're working on meaningful providers and all that. We try very hard to navigate them through as well as we can.
And my other kind of concern.
Thanks for getting Oborski out of here, man. That guy was a threat.
Falling into what
Gotta
I think
check her-
contract,
check her background,
contract is that
Google.
the accentuated
Isn't that her?
formats for all
Isn't that
types
her?
of different providers,
Yeah,
all
did
types
that.
of different companies, both private and public, is that correct? So
the,
a lot of times the private companies are really trying to save money, you know, and so there is this real kind of deny, and you can get into this loop, which I think the public safety employees have, where, you know, you're out of work for so long, if they would have just given me the treatment you needed up front, I wouldn't have had to miss 2 months, but because it took me 2 months to get this knee treatment that I needed, I was out for that long. So that's where I just want to make sure that that's where what we're trying to avoid.
Right there in the middle is the Nazi Barbie council
And then
member.
the last kind of thought, comment would be,
This guy's a cop
this is
too.
just his contract,
Another
just for
undercover cop.
sworn.
He's always here. Almost always. Anyhow, Mackenzie Kelly is the Nazi Barbie. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
They're going to spend money on
And I
APD for
appreciate
workman's
that.
comp.
I do want to.
$4.5 million.
extend this to all of our employees, because again, I know that public safety is a big chunk of our employees, but, you know, folks in transportation, public works, folks in Parks and Rec, they get injured and they have these same struggles, and I just want to make sure that, that all of our employees, whatever their situation are being, I think the healthcare that they need being treated appropriately by, you know, the city and its contractors, but I'm very supportive, and I'm glad that we're doing something. I know this has been kind of discussed for a while, and I really appreciate, you know, you coming into the role and immediately trying to do something to improve the level of service.
Thank you, Councilmember. Members, I'll entertain a motion with regard to item number 26. Motion is to adopt item number 26, made by Councilmember Fuentes, seconded by Councilmember Velazquez. Discussion on item number 26.
Yeah, let's do it.
Without objection, item number 26 is adopted. Thank you very much. Thank you, council members. Members, before we go to our next item, which will be our public comment, I want to walk you through a flow of the meeting in the next couple of hours. We will now begin with public comment. And at that point, at the end of public comment, we will recess the regular call meeting of the Austin City Council that we are currently in until 1:30 p.m. However, we will then have live music, and at 1 o'clock, the council will reconvene on the dais for a special call meeting of the Austin City Council. I will call the special call meeting of the Austin City Council order at 1 o'clock, or as close to 1 o'clock as possible, do want music and that sort of thing. And then we will go into a closed session to take up one item. Remember, I said we're going to recess this after the public comment until 1:30. The idea being that we will finish the executive session in roughly 30 minutes, come back in, adjourn the special call meeting of the Austin City Council, and then we will reconvene this regular meeting of the Austin City Council, at which point we will begin with our eminent domain items, items 61 through 66. So, with that being said, I just want the public and the council to be aware of where we are. We will begin our public comment period, and I will ask the clerk to begin calling the name. Folks, if you have signed
she's
up
with
to
him?
speak.
So that narc's over there with the
during this
police association
item, you have
president.
the agenda, you know where you
Michael
are
Bullock.
in the order. I would ask you to be prepared to come
You want to see what
forward.
pure evil looks like? Look at this
Everyone
guy.
ready to,
Sucking
call.
Satan's ass in hell for life.
Call names in threes, at least, and when you hear your name, please come forward so that you will be ready.
There's a
to
few
provide
Kaffias
your
in
public
here.
comment. And I'll
Bye.
turn to the city clerk.
Mayor, we have two
Mama
remote
saying,
speakers who have
Mama
yet to
saying,
call in,
Mama
so I'll
saying.
begin with the second
Yeah, a
speaker,
few
Crystal
Kaffias in here.
Silva McCormick, Roseanne Yusuf, and
All right,
Cliff
here we go.
Clyde.
Great. If your name's been called, please come forward so that you'll be ready. Thank you. Please come to the microphone if your name's been called. Please identify yourself.
I got my microphone. Give me about 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Crystal, and I'm with Austin for Palestine Coalition and Christians for a Free Palestine. We oppose imperialism, colonialism, and we fight Christian Zionism, which supports white supremacy and settler colonialism. I know you're probably tired of us coming all the time, but you know what I wish is that you were more tired of seeing children's bodies. I wish you were more tired of seeing body parts in bags. I wish that you were more tired of the U.S., which your tax dollars and my tax dollars pay, dropping 2,000 bombs on civilians. I wish that you had the moral courage to say something. You do not see the irony that you had a ceremony, a thankful ceremony for the Tonkawa tribe, which this country put in concentration camps, basically in Oklahoma, and you're thanking them today. Just like the U.S. will do in 100 years. They'll make a museum and they'll say, we all belong. And we're sorry, Palestine, that we committed this genocide. And I don't know if it's moral apathy or political expedience that none of you will say one word about your Palestinian constituents that are suffering and suffering and suffering, and those that stand with them. You won't say one word. You will, like Kamala Harris, feed lies and say to start October 7th when it started long before, with the theft of land, with the Nakba, with children being detained. We're the only country that puts children in jail. Do you know that Palestinians are being detained unjustly and sodomized by soldiers? Do you care? No, but if it was somebody else, you'd be right up there saying, stop this. Where is your moral outrage? Where's your moral outrage? And I don't want to hear this start October 7th, and I don't want anyone to say, again, that this is not a local issue. We are here, Palestinians are here, and our university system invests, doesn't it, in Bay Systems and Lockheed Martin, the very people, the very companies that are dropping bombs and obliterating children and leaving them with no limbs. We should all be ashamed because we are because my tax dollars pay. Ceremony reminds me of the verse from Amos that says, away, I am repulsed by your ceremonies, by your songs. Instead, may justice and righteousness flow. I hope you keep that in mind. Free Palestine in the name of all that is holy and just.
Cliff Clive, Caroline Rose Kennedy, Callie Pitts.
I know that name. There's also some Jewish supporters, or Israeli Zionist supporters here too. You can have other flags. They think.
Yes, please begin. You have 3 minutes. Welcome.
As the school year commences around the globe, Palestinians are denied their joy and right to education. A friend of mine shared a message that was supposed to be on the media that doesn't show. It was a 22-year-old teacher she knows in Gaza who witnessed the Mawasi tent massacre a few days ago, where Israeli terrorist drones dropped 2,000-pound U.S. manufactured bombs on the tents of displaced Palestinians. Part of the Israeli settler colonial apartheid genocidal state's mission to destroy Palestine is their systematic destruction of Palestine's educational systems, better known as scholasticide. In Gaza, over 600,000 students and over 88,000 university-age students have no access to education. Over 80% of schools and all 12 universities have been deliberately damaged. Over 10,000 students have been killed and hundreds of educators and university professors murdered. Just yesterday, 11 Palestinian school teachers were killed in an Israeli terror attack on a school in Gaza. Israeli terrorists have turned educational buildings into military command centers and filled themselves destroying libraries and cultural centers. Not to mention they have looted significant historical artifacts from Gaza. It's known theft is not new to them. In the West Bank, Israeli forces and illegal settlers have killed 116 children since last October, deliberately targeting them in areas of their body that are intended to kill. That is absolute pure evil. Meanwhile, here in Texas, where almost $300 million in tax money from the state and $14 million from taxpayer money in Austin goes towards funding the Israeli state's occupation, terror, and genocide, schools are suffering. Lawmakers continue to fail increasing funding to public schools, and schools continue to struggle as inflation increases. In Austin, the AISD is facing a $52 million deficit. The school year has barely begun, and underpaid, underfunded educators are once again under the distress of having to wear multiple hats in their classroom to support their students. And in our higher education institutes, as my friend just mentioned, including here in Austin, students are severely repressed by their universities solely for demanding that they comply by international law and divest from arms manufacturers that support Israel's genocide and terror. I included a picture in my media. It showed how important education is to Palestinians. In the face of an ongoing genocide, they continue to educate children, whether that's in makeshift tents in refugee camps or on the rubble of destroyed houses. Before this genocide, Gaza had a literacy rate of 98%. In the words of Palestinian poets, Rafik Ziadeh, we Palestinians wake up every morning to teach the rest of the world life. Maybe Texas should learn from Palestinians and start funding education instead of genocide for Palestine.
Yes, please come forward if your name's been called. And just identify yourself for the record.
Cliff Clive, District 8. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered in the council chambers of a city named for Texas's own architect of ethnic cleansing. I've been labeled a single-issue voter. That's what you're called in 2024 when you don't support politicians who won't vocally oppose U.S. complicity in an ongoing genocide. But this is not a single issue. Genocide didn't just fall out of a coconut tree. Our complicity lies on an entire infrastructure of systemic failures. Rather than a single issue, this is about first principles. I believe that a free and safe society must respect universal human rights. The United States claims to be founded on the idea that all men are created equal, as written by the pen of an enslaver. In this country, we champion human rights while politicizing who counts as human. And after nearly 250 years of fighting for justice, we've grown from a country built on genocide and slavery to one that criminalizes homelessness and rents out prisoners as slave labor. So of course, our politicians and media promote the great myth about the genocide in Palestine, which is that this is a war that began on October 7th. To believe that there was peace until October 7th, you have to be comfortable with the preceding 75 years of ethnic cleansing, occupation, and apartheid. The rest of the world sees these abuses as crimes against humanity. America sees them as growing pains. So please know that when I'm outside agitating for Palestinian freedom, it has nothing to do with Israelis' Jewishness. This is about Israel following our playbook, spending our money to commit crimes that we pretend are behind us. We protest this genocide more loudly than others happening today because this one holds up the clearest reflection of the broken foundations of our own home. In May of this year, a UT Austin student falsely accused a professor of anti-Semitism before a Texas Senate subcommittee because the professor told the Texas Tribune he'd not heard the pro-Palestine protesters say anything anti-Semitic. You know this professor. He's Alison Alter's husband, Jeremy Suri, a Jewish liberal Zionist. He's not an anti-Semite. He's just not enough of an extremist to satisfy some members of the pro-Israel community. So I'm here today to ask City Council to release a statement as the City of Austin recognizes that criticism of the Israeli government is not anti-Semitic. We need to have more thoughtful conversations about this within our community, and I am asking you to set the tone.
Please state your name into the record.
Callie Hibbs.
Okay. Good. Please begin.
I would, if you give me a button, just erase Gaza. Every single living being in Gaza. No longer be tomorrow, I would press it the second. That's just what I think. I think most Israelis.
That's the choice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it's not like right now. Yeah, I would press it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same with territories.
I would press it right now. Mm-hmm. No choice. No, Sean is safe at home. I really don't want to vote right now.
Not saying for the chance.
Yeah, I would press it right now. You know what? I press it right now. And he posted Israelis. Yeah. Well,
Jews
they
and
would
Israelis.
post, they would talk about that guy. They would say I pressed it.
Yeah.
But they
don't have both stealing.
would, but they would press it, right? Like if they were
Yeah.
talking along, they wouldn't even hesitate. Someone came in at the door and said, no one will know. You press this, all Palestinians know. You'd be like, okay, is there another one?
That is a white European American man from the state of Alabama, currently living as a settler in occupied Palestine, talking that film. Yes, it's important that Americans speak about this issue here at home. My name is Callie Hibbs. I'm a multi-generational Texan, Austinite, and a fourth-generation Longhorn. And I've come here today to implore this council to separate my city from this supremacist sickness. It is as clear as the summer day is long that for the Zionists, be them Jew or Gentile, Palestinian suffering is not human suffering. And here in the state of Texas, we would never passively allow such horror to befall upon our children and our communities. We would never allow any entity, foreign or domestic, occupy us militarily, destroy our schools and hospitals, rip up our roads, burn our farmland, drop white phosphorus into our creeks and rivers, literally kick us out of our homes all while raping, torturing, and murdering us. And why? Because Abraham said so? Absolutely not. We would run to our guns so fast it would make your head spin. Texans would fight back tooth and nail against such inhumane oppression, and to have to hear these European whites complain about Antifada and revolution, well, let me tell them this. I wouldn't be neighborly with you either, and I certainly wouldn't look upon you as someone chosen by God to have domain over me and mine. What an obnoxious and horrifying crock of it. The passivity, subjugation, and humiliation that the American military empire and its colony, Israel, demands of the people of Palestine is never something we would demand of ourselves. A few weeks ago, 10 Israeli terrorists, all active members of the IOF, were arrested for sodomizing a Palestinian hostage so bad he had to be hospitalized. Footage of this was leaked and shown on the Israeli news station, Channel 12. In so-called Israel, there were riots in the streets. The Israeli citizenry, furious that the rapists were being held to account. Can you imagine T.C. Broadnax being sodomized by 10 different white European men that were so confident to do so? It's clearly a social and cultural norm over there. They were just able to get away with it. Doesn't sound like racial equity to me. The city of Austin needs to completely separate ourselves from this deviancy immediately. Free Palestine.
On deck is Gracie Pankel, Haytham El Zabri, Paul Robbins.
While she's coming forward, is there anyone else, other than the names you've called, to be called as speakers?
One remote speaker, Hayat Najali, but they have not called it. Okay, you registered as remote, but go ahead whenever you're ready.
Good deal. Thank you. Please begin.
If you study history and political science, you would know what a powerful tool propaganda is. America has long used it to build consent for war. After 9/11, Iraq was propagandized to us. Ultimately, the American invasion was the only weapon of mass destruction in Iraq. But we have short memories, don't we? Politicians lie to us easily, bought out by powerful corporations, war profiteers like Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, our local BAE systems, and others. They even try to sell us the image of Israel as an ethical democracy, while the UN and every other human rights organization has condemned Israel's genocide in Gaza and its apartheid system in the West Bank. But who are you going to believe? Your lying eyes? This year, the International Court of Justice has 2 major investigations against Israel. The first for genocide is ongoing. The second has concluded and found that Israel is indeed an apartheid regime based on segregation, and its settlements violate international law. The ICJ declared that the international community has an obligation to legally sanction Israel or be associated with illegal acts and war crimes. That includes us. Let's talk about hostages. The 9,900 Palestinian hostages held in Israeli prisons, grabbed often overnight from their beds or off the street without charges or warrants for crimes including Facebook posts and political opinions, they will languish in Israeli prisons and if they're lucky get a trial in only military court. IOF soldiers have been caught sodomizing prisoners. Then those released from Israeli prisons come out, a shell of who they were before. They were denied medical care, starved, tortured, and kept in inhumane conditions. Israel has the distinction of being the only country in the world that prosecutes children in military courts that lack fair trials and protections. Israel prosecutes over 500 Palestinian children in military courts each year. On the other hand, the around 200 Israeli hostages that were in Gaza, half of which have been released, have been held by Hamas militants in homes, had proper food, even during a famine in Gaza, been given medical care, and returned in good condition. We want to see all hostages released and back home with their families, both Israeli and Palestinian. Israeli propaganda is falling apart in the age of social media, where the world sees the live-streamed genocide. Here are some shocking thoughts, so bear with me. What if Israelis and Palestinians both matter? What if Palestinians are just trying to survive, hold on to their land and dignity, and obtain equal rights? What if they're not dark barbarians, savages, and evil creatures? What if desperate people do desperate things? What if the media lie to us? What if Palestinians deserve to live? And under an illegal occupation, what if they are allowed to resist?
Please come forward if your name's been called. Yes, please feel free. Just identify yourself for our record.
My name is Hayat. I'm an Arab Muslim woman, and I have been living in Texas for the past decade. I feel ashamed to call Texas home and of carrying the passport of this country. For 342 days, I have been bearing witness to World War II level of destruction and the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and the occupied territories of Palestine by the rogue, criminal, Zionist occupation that is called Israel. I have been watching this council show indifference and disregard to pleas made by your community, by a community of people who are feeling the pain of those crimes. For you to do the bare minimum
right there.
and speak up to show that you understand the gravity of what Palestinians are going through, what they are being subjected to, but it seems that the progressive values you claim to strive for are simply reserved for those that you deem as worthy. So instead of attempting to persuade you to find your consciousness and to change your old, dusty, genocide-supporting minds, I will read an excerpt from report NSM 20, National Security Memorandum for Safeguards and Accountability with respect to transferred defense articles and defense services. The report created and released by the State Department and the DoD in February of this year. Quote, our aggregate analysis of credible reports, including but not limited to those involving the use of US-provided weapons by Israeli forces, indicate a context of systematic disregard of international humanitarian laws, with recurrent attacks launched despite foreseeable disproportionate harm to civilians and civilian objects. Wide area attacks without prior warnings in some of the most densely populated residential neighborhoods in the world. Direct attacks on civilians or otherwise protected persons and attacks against civilian objects. The United States has approved over 100 foreign military sales arms transfer to Israel since October 7th, 2 of them using an emergency authority to overcome the regular congressional process, and none of them accompanied by any conditions or red lines of usage. Translation, Israel bombs, USA pays. Lastly, I will share some statistics about the latest Israeli massacre and crime committed this week. On Tuesday, September 10th, 2024, the Mawasi Khan Yunis massacre. Right before dawn, Israel dropped 3 US-made Mk-84 bombs on a displaced civilian camp in the ever-shrinking, densely populated area that the occupation designated as safe zone. The bombs left 3 craters and swallowed 20 tents full of civilians, displaced families. I did a quick search on those bombs and found out that the Mk-84 bomb is a free fall, non-guided GPS 2,000-pound bomb. where maximum blast and explosion effects are desired. Translation, US approved genocide.
Hi, I'm Haytham El-Zabri. I'm a Palestinian American, Austinite for 16 years. I love this city, except sometimes I get allergies, so excuse the stuffy nose. I'm going to keep my comments short, partly because we've been here time and time again, and it seems to fall on deaf ears. So it feels to me like you're not hearing us at all. You've been provided with a lot of facts and figures, so I'm just going to speak from the heart. As a Palestinian, I'm really tired of this. I'm tired of 11 months of genocide. I'm tired of 11 months of innocent human beings being blown apart into pieces. I'm tired of 11 months of us coming here asking you to please speak up for the oppressed. Please just say something. And of you constantly refusing to. I acknowledge the 3 of you who have stepped up, but 8 of you have enormously failed us. You have failed to represent the Austin community because you know that a majority of Austinites want peace. A majority of Austinites want a ceasefire. A majority of Austinites are against genocide. Just take a look at this room. Most of the people here want a ceasefire and an end to the genocide. Only, like, how many people are against the ceasefire? Raise your hand if you're against the ceasefire. Okay, just nobody. Nobody's against the ceasefire. So my message is not to you anymore, really. It's to my community, my Austin community. I say that we have a responsibility to use our votes, and next time around, I urge everyone to remember this and to vote for better representation that reflects the compassionate nature of my fellow Austinites.
Just put him in jail.
Also, as we speak, I want to mention that there is a ship right now docking in Corpus Christi. The ship is here to load 300,000 barrels of jet fuel that is being sent to Israel to fuel those jet fighters, those American-made and supplied jet fighters that are bombing Gaza into smithereens. This is happening. I know this is not an Austin issue, but this is still a Texas issue, and it's happening in our backyard, and it's a San Antonio-based company. And I hope the city of Austin does not have any contracts with Valero, because if it does, it will be liable for being complicit in genocide. Free Palestine from the river to the sea.
I really tried to build an argument and write something that would convince you, but after we're almost at a year now, and I feel like I just have to risk looking a fool and stumbling over my words because I have to take this moment to look you in your eyes. Just baseline, I don't even dehumanize other people, and y'all are all humans, and I just don't understand, and I need to understand, like, what is stopping you from doing something? Like, I know that lots of you there, maybe not lots of you, I don't even understand. Some of y'all must support us doing something. Other city councils in our states have passed divestment resolutions. There's absolutely companies that we are invested in that we can pull out, and that does not hurt Austinites. I don't understand how this is not a local issue. We see how kids in our prisons here in Texas, DOJ just released, like this summer, that kids are being isolated, sexually abused, and then we see that happening in Palestine as well. How is that not connected? Palestine is the canary in the coal mine. We are practicing on the Palestinians what they are doing to us here. We have seen how the cops have gone and raided LULAC members' homes, making women wait outside in their nightgowns while they rage through their things. How is that not connected to what they're doing to women in the West Bank? We've seen them tear up their couches, throw their dishes just to terrorize them. Like, help me understand, like, this is the time that we have to get creative. something we can do. I know that none of y'all are Biden or Blinken. You can't just call and make this end like that. But we don't have to be complicit in it. This is the time to break norms. Why don't we just refuse to send our tax dollars? We can do something. Like, there's something. And I don't have a degree. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. If what's stopping y'all is that paralyzation of despair, believe me when I say I feel you, and I will come and I will listen and I will connect you with people who can help build policy with you to help figure out what we can do as a city. Because there is something we can do as a city. I refuse to believe that these human beings sitting here can see those images of human beings laid out on the floor, hands tied behind their backs. These are concentration camps. How are we okay with this? I don't understand, and I'm not even trying to convince y'all, I'm just begging y'all. I'm begging y'all. And I promise, if you think that the majority of the city doesn't support this, if this city was affordable enough for people to leave their jobs and know that a missed shift to come to a city council meeting wouldn't mean that they couldn't make their rent, this place would be filled every day. So please, please, please.
As Mr. Robbins comes forward, let me remind the public and remind us, when Mr. Robbins finishes, please come forward, Mr. Robbins. When he finishes with his public comment, we will recess this regular council meeting until 1:30. You come forward. The council will come back at 1 o'clock for a special call meeting.
Council, this will be on a different topic than the other people speaking today. In late August, a public hearing took place on the outrageous rate increase requested by Austin's main natural gas utility, Texas Gas Service. The rate proposed will be just the latest in a series that will culminate in a 105% increase in only 6 years, adding over $300 to an average residential home, adding about $67 million a year to the residential rate class in Austin alone. There are some short-term things that can reduce or eliminate this. At the public hearing, you heard the gas companies say that they will repay all the money that it took to hook up new buildings. You heard the company tell you in person that they will receive, and I quote, full freight, unquote. And we're supposed to believe them because they told us so? In 2020, the company received only about 10% of what it cost to hook up new customers. And until the company proves otherwise, I believe increasing the capital recovery fee is a viable way to lower rates. When Austin Energy and Austin Water went to full capital recovery, there were rate decreases. Another thing you can do is create a customer assistance program for poor customers. At the public hearing, you heard the company tell you with a straight face that it's a laughably funded program for emergency bill assistance is not even spending all of its allotted money. What they didn't tell you is that they have no program to actually reduce rates like Austin does. Still, another thing you can do is allow public comment when council meets again on this issue on October 10th. Public comment on this issue in the city has been extremely limited. But during the public hearing, there was also brief discussion of municipalization. To my knowledge, Austin does not need to wait until its franchise is over in 2026 to either offer a bid to purchase the company or start eminent domain proceedings. San Antonio, only 70 miles to our south, purchased the city's gas utility in 1942. Today it has rates half of what Texas Gas Service rates in Austin are. And its gas utility is self-governed, not regulated by the Railroad Commission. While this is not a decision to be taken lightly, formative steps to gather information could be started almost immediately. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Robbins. Members, that concludes all of the people signed up for that time certain public comment. Without objection, the council, we will recess the regular meeting of the Austin City Council until 1:30. Please hang on for live music. We are now in recess at 12:34. Please hang on for live music, and we will return at 1 o'clock for a special.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free, 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 free Palestine! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Palestine is almost free! Palestine is almost free! From the river to the sea!
The Jewish people aren't told to leave. There's still a whole half hour or more to set up here. The sergeant here looks familiar. Right here. So they're gonna go back there in that room, eat a bunch of food, paid for by taxpayers while the band sets up, and they're gonna have to sound check and all that. Hi, how are you?
I didn't do it.
It's all right. I know who did it. I know who did it. Some kind of lieutenant or something. Here comes the Zionist warmongers, the Hawks, waving their flags. Ooh, there's a lot of perfume on that. Churchy people. Churchy people. Did not see the one guy that got ejected last week and we missed. I mean, we missed him getting ejected. All the marks here. So yeah, they'll be doing the tuning. Looks like they got a Roland keyboard on a stand there. They're micing up their amp, their practice amp. What's the APT's annual budget right now? It's like 518 million plus like another, wasn't there like 32 million in raises like a couple of months ago before the 18.4? Is it 600 million yet? It's like 200 million over the George Floyd amount. Yeah, wow. Just curious. You work for APD? Let's check. Who's this guy over here? Is he a lieutenant? Right there? No? Assistant chief?
In between.
Huh?
In between.
Commander? Yeah. Okay. So he's got like 50 men and women underneath him? About approximately like Westerhoff did? Eagle. Oh, that's Eagle? That's Eagle? That's not Eagle. That's Sergeant Eagle? He was a total. I caught him like he was involved with the Landon Noble shooting. He was curbing black people. He was off his rig on amphetamines or steroids or something, and it's on video. He looked like a madman. How did he make commander? Dude, y'all, oh my God, y'all got problems. Hey, watch him. He's probably burying people. Damn. Do you remember Eagle on the Landon Noble shooting? He's now a commander now, and he's talking to that young lady right there. He's a clan dragon piece of shit. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. All right, I'm good. I don't really care about the music today. I just don't like being kicked out while filming. He's a bad cop. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Every time I come here, there's a bad cop. What do we got now? Nothing? Alright. Oh, we're getting the selfie pictures. I'm gonna get in here. Get in here. Gotta get in here.
I hope there aren't two big smiles though. No big smiles. Yeah, no big smiles. One more with us here. A little bit of a grin face. One more Israel's terrorist.
Palestine, hoorah!
Trouble posting stuff. I just have trouble posting like your pictures where we're all
You do work for APD, right? You don't know your budget for your department, but you work there?
Yeah. You don't know?
He doesn't want to know. He doesn't want to know because cops lie.
Yeah.
Just another example of how cops, no matter what rank they are, they lie, and that's politicians lie, cops lie, lawyers lie. They all do it for a living. Actors also lie, by the way.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they lie. They put on a persona. It's not there. That's a lie. Look at her waving her flag. You look ridiculous. Like the Klan. The Klan misses you. Shit. Anyhow.
We don't know the budget, okay? We don't know the budget.
Oh, you did excellent. We had a really great understanding of goals and how many homes, and that's important. It's not just one type of person. It's also
Eagle's probably the most racist house I've ever seen in my life. I still have that on YouTube, man. Hey, Landon Noble's family says justice was not served yet. You're all right. We shot him, man. He's the largest that night. The guy died. Black guy. I mean, it doesn't back 3 times, and they lied. They threw down. I was at the jury trial, and most of it, I was witnessing a video review, and it was the largest jury award in U.S. history, $67 million. Now it's a little belt in the circuit. It's a million, but that was history. That was part of it. That guy was in there, and now he's not Sergeant Hugo. He's the commander. Now he's got big in there. And I couldn't believe it. I said, is that Hugo? And I told him, what is that? I didn't know. I used to see my Hugo on my YouTube channel. There he is. He's just acting crazy. Eyes are bugging out. My arm went down. I'm on steroids. And he's spraying weed, but he's urban black men and doing all this shit right before they shot it, like about 30, 45 minutes before they shot it. And then the judge did not allow that video of Hugo doing all this shit, looking crazy, did not allow. And then they tried to swerve in what you say the whole truth. They muted my other video from Living and Dying for free. They muted it. Everyone saying, all this. And they muted that, and then they tried to swerve in, and I almost went to jail in the federal court. And Skip Davis was trying to do that. But he said to me, and I said, I would try. And he said, I've never heard that. He's up here. I got all that. But like, what if you have to stop? That's a big problem. We can call that work. You have to break that. And so that's not about the truth. Fuck our talk about the law. So yeah, that guy. And so last time we were here, was it last week? They had abortion. I saw his name out last week, and I told the city manager, this building manager guy, and the other guy, somebody else. That is a bad cop. He started a worldwide protest against cops when he arrested and beat up you. That's the cop that started going around the world. Like, do you think they're watching us? Like, now you can get out of here. I don't feel safe. I'm like, I'm bad.
30 seconds before.
We ask a lot of people that are never advocating corporations. But we still like to pay for that. Don't say that. We're still expected to give them like dignity.
But she obviously the like a lot of people. Yeah, he said but he said he was a temp. So he's like, I don't really have an official job. Because they're not direct, you know, that's
They're never going to challenge. They got the Chronicle, everything. What are they going to challenge you for? I could probably do that. She'll probably leave it out. She's very, she's got a lot of expertise problems. No change. No change. She's a left, neoliberal. And she said, well, I don't know. She is, yeah. Hey, I'm going to go. I get paid this week. If I write a article, I get 10 newspaper things. So, never mind newspaper. That's all I'm still. I'm like, this. I'm going to walk off. There we go. Great. Well, we had some free speech, no arrests. There was a little bit of bullying. There was a lot of narcs in there. There was almost more narcs in there than there were citizens working for the city. You had the security, 2 or 3 levels of security. You got the rental security, the in-house, couple levels of security. You got an APD security, which is Austin Police Department's got their own plainclothes undercovers that I was showing you. The one guy, the lead guy's name is Mike. He's been here for years. You know, a lot of these people have threatened me and tried to intimidate me, tell me they're going to arrest me for American flag or something nonsense. Or was it the Texas flag? I think it was the Texas flag, and they call it the American flag because they don't know it. Well, it's the same difference, right? These people don't know. I mean, I just like to know where these people went to school and got their constitutional law, got their government, got their civics. I don't think these city employees, city contractors know the first thing. I mean, we're supposed to be able to let the media be here, like me, maybe like you if you do media. I got a marked vehicle, and I was gonna park right here, but I figured they'd probably come and harass me. This motorcycle could park anywhere. This APD, you could park anywhere and leave room for one more car, but they wanted to make sure I couldn't park here. Because the last thing you want is this dude. Trust me. When you're doing stuff wrong, this dude will call you out. You're making a bunch of money and killing people, doing ethnic cleansings, doing socioeconomic cleansings. You're running fascist police state. I ain't gonna call it out. Or at least I'm gonna film it and just be quiet. I got many tactics. I got actually 2.5.749 repeating tactics. Can we go yet? How far do I have to walk to get off this damn plantation?
See all
we
the
can go now.
police officers at the city hall?
There were too many cops, too many securities, too many levels of security. A bunch of flag waving Zionists. They thought it was all funny, talking about dead babies and phosphorus and shit. big ass bombs, war. It's all funny. There's Toy Joy. Toy Joy has all sorts of little toys. They're cheap. Little bitty plastic toys. Every kind of toy. They've moved a couple times. Like this. There's their Halloween toys. Bunch of toys. Those are robots. Oh my god, I want some of these robots. Oh! Look at that. Deviant Moon Tarot. Oh, look at the size of that lava lamp, y'all. See that? That lamp is bigger than the cancer in Trump's ass. I mean, did I say that? I meant, I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose anybody.
They're eating cats and dogs and...
They're eating dogs inside the cats. They call it a turducken. Just look up turducken. Every one of them's dogs inside the cats, man. Hard-boiled egg fries. Wrap their...
They're eating cats and dogs, man.
They wrap their brain in bacon and they suck it down with a straw. Singing an Illuminati chant. La 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 la. Damn Haitians. Shit. That guy's he's got brain cancer. Butt cancer in his ass because his head is in his ass and the cancer's metastasized. Fucking moron. Alright. Happy voting, y'all. The election is shit. They're all fake. Namaste. Have fun.